What's going on, guys? It's time for another little YouTube video update. So we went to Haunted Moves with the DriftV in Englishtown, New Jersey, and I did a terrible job at filming. Basically, I get into the mindset where I feel like I black out and I forget to put my GoPro on, and I just really want to focus on driving. I want to focus on figuring this car out for good and just figuring out what works and what needs to be done at a track like Englishtown. Way different than somewhere like OSW, flat skid pad, stuff like that. This is like real road course, high speed entries, third gear entries, high speed turns through the course like tree turn and things like that, where it was a lot of fun. Elevation change, bank turns, all that stuff all within one. This was my opportunity to round out this year up here in PA, round it out with some good experience and basically just figuring it all out. So I'm gonna give you guys a quick rundown. I'll overlay some pictures that I've found from the event while I'm talking, but I'll give you a quick rundown of the car and basically how the event went. So we got in Friday night. I was running the 265 Zestinos on the car Friday night, and I managed to get like 4 laps out of them, and they were great. First lap would be almost a little too gripped up. Second and third laps would be perfect. Fourth lap, like halfway through the lap, you just start feeling it. They're dead. So they were doing okay. So they were 300 treadwear Zestinos, and then I switched to 200 treadwear 265 Kendas, which I'll probably switch to the 300 treadwear Kendas, but I got these on sale somewhere at one point. And basically same deal with the Kendas, about 4 laps. First one almost a little too gripped up to stay in third through the whole course. Second and third laps were perfect. Fourth lap, about halfway through, when I start coming around hairpin, get back onto it, and then heading up to the bank, it starts feeling a little slick, a little sketchy. Still throwing it in the tree turn as hard as I can. So tree turn, those of you that know Englishtown, tree turn is high speed, it's fun. I was looking down, wheel speed coming off the bank was about 98 miles an hour, and then I would like enter tree turn at about 78 miles an hour of vehicle speed. So like I would kind of let it like hook up, enter, and then basically to prevent what happened last time where I blew off track because the car gripped up, when I would get into tree turn, when I would pull that handbrake, get to angle, I would put my foot to the absolute floor and just go right through the turn, and it was amazing. A couple times I would catch in the rearview mirror just the amount of smoke that was pouring off my car, and it was pretty wild. But ultimately, leading up to that, I was trying to, in the midst of the event, which also didn't help, the Escalade was giving me some troubles. The cold weather killed the battery. I think it was the original battery that was in it, so it was like 6 years old. I don't know how it lasted that long. Escalade battery was dead, so we had to jump start it that day. I think I let this thing run for like 4 hours because I didn't want to shut it off with the fear that it wouldn't hold a charge, which, in fact, it wasn't holding a charge on its own. It would discharge pretty quickly, so I'm glad I did that after we jump started it the first time. But I ended up having to do a battery and a starter on the Escalade. Again, 111,000 miles, all original stuff. The starter was just also getting jammed up within itself, so we're good there. But as far as the V goes, I did have one issue during the event, and we'll go check that out. So as you guys have seen in the pictures at the event, I ran the half cup bumper. This one I was repairing. I had to plastic weld it here, plastic weld it here, plastic weld. Literally, like this whole section right here got torn off. So there's plastic weld that goes down here, plastic weld that comes around here. It's good enough, to get the bumper back on the car. But I came off track Friday night, and I noticed a ticking sound, and it turns out I blew the header gasket on this side. The rear bolt was almost completely backed out, so I tightened it up. It was still ticking. I pulled the valve cover to make sure that's what it was, and when you look in here, you can see the gap. So it literally blew the middle out between the 2 layers. So that was a clear issue. So the other day I put a new gasket on it, put some ARP hardware to replace the old hardware, and replace these gaskets. Looks like it was leaking a little It looks like it was getting into there, but it didn't look like it was like breaching the edge of the gasket overall. But this thing, yeah, that back cylinder was blowing some serious exhaust out towards the hood. You know, good spot to be doing that. These are the Zestinos. So they're the Zestino Acrova 07As, 300 tread wear, 265. Got pretty good wear out of them. This car has a little bit of rear camber in it, so we had like just a little bit left over here, but they were pretty much cooked. The water pit wasn't super full because people were blasting through it too fast. But otherwise, the car pretty much made it out okay. I had a little hiccup with the rear bumper. I don't really know what happened, to be honest, but it got bent in right here, so I heated that up. I'll mess with it, massage it a little more. Otherwise, gotta try and keep this guy from holding itself in. But like cosmetically, I really can't complain. Mechanically, really can't complain. This thing is a trooper. Now going into the off season, you know, it's the off season, but also we're bringing this thing back to Florida, which is in season still as far as drifting goes. So it's kind of just time to start planning for next year at this point. So that's where the Stansco updates will come into play. As far as Stansco stuff goes, I am working on a new project that I will share with you guys. I know a lot of people ask me what kind of angle I run on the car, if there's going to be any angle solutions, and we are actively working on something. I have a close friend of mine, I got him a knuckle. I have a close friend of mine working on a component that will give you guys bolt-on angle, basically. And it'll be a very simple setup, but it will ultimately mimic a cut knuckle. So you guys don't have to try and find somebody to cut a knuckle. You can buy this part, it'll work. It'll give you just as much steering angle as I have right now, maybe even a little bit more. But again, we're going to be in the testing phase of that going into the winter. So stay tuned for the Stansco stuff that is coming. I am working on things in the background. I just haven't really posted about it because one thing I've learned is I don't like posting about things until they're done, because if I post about it beforehand, just like how I was with the dual caliper brackets, some people tend to pop up thinking that they can do it quicker or do it better, and thankfully it didn't really work out in their favor. But I just kind of keep some of the bigger projects to myself in the meantime. If you have any ideas on things that I can produce, you know, my capabilities are not crazy, but I do like to see what people are interested in. So let me know about that with the Stansco stuff. So do plan on having some bolt-on angle solutions and maybe some lower control arm options as well for you guys. So with that being said, Haunted Moves was a success. We rounded out the season. We had the opportunity to do some more drifting before then, but I think we're just going to head back down to Florida and, you know, get back down there. Morgan and I's house is almost done. So there's just a lot of moving pieces going on right now. So, you know, drifting kind of won't be a priority in the beginning of the new year, but I'll still be working on the Stansco stuff and whatnot. So I know I'm just kind of rambling on at this point, and I hope you guys are enjoying the pictures that I'm throwing in here, just so you don't have to keep staring at me while I talk. But with that being said, it sounds like the 2023 season is coming to an end. If we can find, I might surprise you with some content if something pops up. But it was a good season. It was a short season. I wish I could have given you guys some more drifting content, but it just, the way traveling worked out and scheduling and other things that we had to tend to worked out, it just, you know, to do all these events just wasn't in the cards this year. But as far as next year goes, I do have a plan in place. I'm hoping to, I guess I'll give you guys a little insight on that. I'm hoping to hit Hyperfest, and I'm hoping to try and hit LS Fest East in Kentucky. So those two are like the big ones that I gotta start saving my pennies for to be able to hit next year. I think there'll be good opportunities to drive some new tracks, meet some new people, and meet some of you guys that even watch this channel, and, you know, try and get the V out there more. It's not like, I love driving and all that, but at this point too, I'm looking at events as to like, what event do I think putting a CTS-V drift car in front of people will be most beneficial to me from a business aspect. So that's kind of where I'm looking at everything. Next year, we're also trying to hit PRI. Just not from a driving standpoint, we're just trying to hit PRI from a driver standpoint, see if we can partner up with more people, see if we can meet more people within the industry. I've been out of the industry for a few years now, so I'm trying to get back in that sense. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to 2024. It's going to be busy, it's going to be stressful, it's going to be expensive, but I'm going to do everything I can to make it happen. And, you know, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Also, I need to mention this. If you're still listening, shout out to you for still listening. I am working with a facility in Florida. There will be a new track opening, hopefully in 2024. Hopefully ground gets broken in at the end of 2023, by the end of the year. Hopefully we are breaking ground on that. So I am helping on the drifting side of things with that, and I'm really excited because me and the group of guys that have the opportunity to help with this, good group of dudes, owner of the complex, great family, and I think it really is promising for the state of Florida, drifting in the state of Florida. So I'm really excited for that. And otherwise, thank you guys for hanging around. I'm going to jump back into the 3000 stuff when I can, once I'm back in Florida. Get what I can done, because Morgan and I have a bet that the car will not be running and driving under its own power when we have to move into our new house. So I need to prove her wrong, just for the bragging rights. But I got to paint the bay, got to bring the heads to the machine shop, and then I have to start re-gasketing that engine, throw a new clutch in, put it all back together. The biggest thing is just going to be repainting that bay, and that's kind of just the biggest undertaking. I still have a lot of prep work to do, and then actually painting, which thankfully the temperature and the humidity in Florida is getting much closer to that point where I can paint the engine bay and not have to worry about how things are drying or humidity levels and things like that. So we're getting into that sweet spot of the year where painting, it's good painting time, because you really can't paint during the summer at all. So otherwise, thank you guys again for hanging in there, and you know, I'll try better with the content, but in the background I'm really trying to put something legit together here. You know, the grand scheme of things, I'm trying to put something big together, and you know, so it's hard while trying to do so much of the background stuff to still get out there, and I need to, like, you know, balance, you know, go out and have fun at a drift event or save the money and try and develop more parts. So that's kind of where I'm at. Thank you guys again. I think this is like the third time I said thank you. So thank you guys again. And I will see you in the next video. I'm not quite sure when that'll be, but hopefully sooner than later. If I get to take the V out for a cruise or anything like that, maybe this weekend, I'll let you guys know. I'll try and bring the GoPro along with me. But otherwise, thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.